Yeah, hi Sita, good morning. In last class, we have been talking about Kinesis, Lambda service, right? These two services. Let's go to AWS console. Yes. Let us go to Lambda first. So I have already created two functions, Lambda destination, Lambda source. Source is like a producer for Kinesis, destination is like a consumer. So let us create one more function. We'll call it as Kinesis producer or say producer for Kinesis. And permissions. You can go with basic Lambda permissions and then go edit the role which Lambda creates, or already we have created one role. Let us use existing role. And this role we have created yesterday, which has S3 full permissions, Kinesis full permissions, and CloudWatch also. So we have given S3 full access, Kinesis full access, CloudWatch full access for Lambda service. So we are using that role. That means this particular Lambda function has S3 full access, Kinesis full access, as well as CloudWatch full access. And some more advanced settings related to signing configuration networks. Let's say create function. Yeah, we have created the function and it is JS script. I have already created this function. Let us go to functions, Lambda source. I'll copy code from there. Okay. And okay, what this will do, here we are using AWS SDK and given region as AP-South 1, that means Mumbai. And here we are using a constructor, AWS S3 constructor, AWS Kinesis constructor. And what we are checking here, we are creating a event simply. We are creating a event which logs events with bucket name, object key, right? So it creates this kind of event. And when this get object happens, here you can see it gets object, actually not get object, it gets object and then sends to Kinesis. See, async function send to Kinesis, payload partition key, and this is the Kinesis stream. Let us change this Kinesis stream. Okay, test Kinesis stream. That's it. And deploy. So this is let us call producer for Kinesis. Whenever a data object in any object is uploaded in S3, what it has to do, it has to get that object information. See what it's doing, get object parameters related to that object, and it prints in the console. It logs into the console, and we can view these logs in CloudWatch. We know that. And also it sends to Kinesis, test Kinesis stream. So test Kinesis stream, I don't have this stream. Let me copy this name, test Kinesis stream. Okay, copy. Let us go and create one Kinesis stream. Test Kinesis stream capacity, a number of shards. We know shards means partitions, just one is enough. I'm going to have one producer and one consumer. If there are more than one consumers, 2, 3, 4 consumers are there, you can increase your shards. If there are 3 consumers, you can say 3 shards. And total data stream capacity, read capacity, we know this. That's it. And create data stream. Simple. And here you can see under Amazon Kinesis, you can add producers, Kinesis agents, which are Java software applications, AWS SDK, and then Kinesis producer library. So you can use these and generate data, and this code push the data into the Amazon Kinesis. So Amazon Kinesis agent, view on GitHub. Here we have instructions also to how to use this installing Amazon Kinesis agent. So you can install it. Yeah, once this Kinesis is installed on your laptop, you'll find this agent.json. So this agent.json, what it will do, it will stream data, right? It logs data and it streams data, and agent writes its logs to AWS Kinesis agent.log. This is Kinesis agent. And now what happens, what this Kinesis agent is doing, it is creating a log. It is creating a log. And now you can use these log files as producers to Kinesis. So that's why Amazon Kinesis agent, which is a Java software application that sends data to the stream. And you can use this Amazon Kinesis stream in your applications. So then it will, whatever data is coming, it's generating, it will push to the Kinesis. Kinesis agent push to the Kinesis stream. Then we have AWS SDK. So using SDK, there will be libraries or packages. Using packages, you can push data. And Kinesis producer library. So this is for to develop producers, to create new producers like applications. Similarly, consumers, you can add data analytics as a consumer, which is Kinesis data analytics, where you can analyze the data in real time. And data firehose is a delivery stream. Here, Kinesis is a data stream where you have to configure input and output. Data firehose is also a stream. It's also a data stream, but here delivery options are simple. You can directly deliver, let's say, process with delivery stream. A destination. Let us say this is just a test Firehose stream. Choose a source. Source is Kinesis data stream. The Firehose stream is getting data from Kinesis data stream. Firehose is also a stream. The difference is you don't have a direct consumers you can choose for data stream. Suppose, let us go to the next step and understand what is the difference. You can transform source codes from AWS Lambda. Anyway, it's not necessary. Say next. See, destinations. You can stream data to Amazon S3, Amazon Redshift, Amazon Elasticsearch, HTTP endpoint, and other third-party service providers. So these destinations are available for Firehose delivery stream. These are not available for Kinesis data stream. So how Kinesis can stream data from one point to another point, but there are no direct consumers which you can attach to Kinesis data stream. Let us go back to Kinesis data stream. Kinesis stream details. You can see producers, consumers. That's it. Consumers, either you can use Amazon Kinesis data analytics, where you can analyze, you can query the data, filter data, process data using SQL or Java here. Here, if you want to process data in real time, you can choose Amazon Kinesis. For real-time analytics, it's using Apache Flink and Apache Flink's streaming application. So let us close this. Now let us understand this Kinesis data Firehose. My requirement is whatever data, suppose it's social media data or my web application there, I want to know click-through rate. So how many people are coming? I have launched a new product, say for example, 360 Digit MG has launched a new course. And we need to analyze like how customers behavior, what is the click-through rate for this new course, how many people are registering. Suppose we have introduced any scholarship or offers, such kind of a things. So we need, suppose we want to analyze how many people are registering, etc. So then what data has to be collected from the web application, click-through rate, how many registries are happening, all these things, all these log details, server-side log details, and again in this, by analyzing the log details, we will come to know all these patterns. So for this, I need to stream that log details and save in S3 bucket, or I want to save in AWS Redshift, which is a data lake, or a data base, which is a huge one, we call data lake, or in DynamoDB table and other things. So then I don't have a direct option. I can use AWS SDK and develop the producer, and I can stream from my web application. Or I can use KPL library and write a script which logs values, which pushes the values into the Kinesis stream. And now, how about the consumer? The consumer, I want to make Redshift or any other database, or I have to save this in S3 for further analysis. Just now we have seen this, right? Next. Create delivery stream. Test delivery stream. Direct put or other sources. Okay. Kinesis data stream. We need to get data from the Kinesis data stream. I am creating a data firehose. And then data stream name. This one, just Kinesis stream. Next, process records. So do you want source codes or processed records, which converts record format? So to convert the record format, we have to use Amazon Glue. So let us disable these two things. We are not transforming the records. So why we need to transform the records? What happens? It converts the file format into. See, if record format conversion is enabled, Kinesis Data Firehose can deliver data to Amazon S3 only, and the record format will be done using OpenXJSON. So the whatever the format the data is, so using this convert record format, which is Apache Parakeet, is the conversion record format, which converts into JSON format. Simple. So transforming the data coming. So next. So here I can use destination as S3, Redshift, Elasticsearch, which is an open source search engine, analytics search engine, or HTTP endpoint, all these things. So let us put Amazon S3 as destination, and it asks to choose a bucket as destination. So I'll choose, or we'll create new bucket, a new bucket in Mumbai region. I'll call this our Kinesis data from Kinesis Firehose. Let us call this as bucket name, data from Kinesis Firehose. Mumbai region, create S3 bucket. And we are not using any prefixes. Next. Okay, buffer size is 5, buffer size is 300 seconds. We'll keep it as is. So, however, we can reduce this interval to 60 seconds. So, buffering time from one stream to another stream, that interval we are setting it as 60 seconds, and buffer size is 5. You can learn more about Kinesis Firehose, buffer size and buffer interval. Buffer size can be from 1 to 128 MB, and see, then MIB, sorry, not MB, and then this is buffer interval. Then S3 compression and encryption. Let us keep all these things as disabled. Error logging is enabled by default. Permissions. So now we are creating a IAM role. IAM role for what? IAM role to access data from Kinesis. Kinesis data stream to Kinesis Firehose stream. So now Kinesis Firehose write into S3. So create update IAM role. So we keep it as like that. So AWS itself will create IAM role and assign related permissions. Next. So create delivery stream. So we have created a delivery stream, right? It reads data from S3 and again delivers to it gets data from one S3 bucket and delivers the data from another S3 bucket. So we have not yet configured that producer as an S3 bucket. We have created a Lambda function, and then we have created a Kinesis data stream and then Firehose stream. And then we are getting data from one S3 bucket and sending that data to another S3 bucket. So let's go and check what we have done. I have created Lambda. That is the first thing we have done. And IAM role in yesterday's class we have created with all the permissions. I have created a Lambda function, producer for Kinesis, and then let us look into the producer for Kinesis. So no trigger for this. So there should be some service. If some action happens in the service, then we can trigger the Lambda function. It can be S3 put object or a DynamoDB table or any other service and actions related to the services. So based on that, you can trigger. So a lot of Lambda triggers are available. In SQS, Lambda trigger is there. SNS Lambda trigger is there. So let us not add trigger. We will go and attach this Lambda function to S3 bucket. Let's say S3, I'll create a new bucket. Bucket name. So this is Kinesis producer bucket. And enable bucket versioning, and also we will enable encryption. Okay, we'll go here, Kinesis producer bucket, and then one more bucket, data from Kinesis Firehose, data producer bucket. So here, data producer bucket, we will attach a Lambda function. So how we can attach the Lambda function? Go to event notifications. Yesterday also we have done the same thing. And event name. Prefix. We are not using any prefix. This time we will use suffix .txt files. Only when .txt files are there, then only what we are doing, when .txt file is put, post, copy or multi-part uploads related to .txt with the extension of this, with this suffix happens, then we are triggering a Lambda function. We are adding a Lambda trigger here, and that Lambda trigger, choose from your Lambda functions. We have already created it. This is producer for Kinesis. This is the source bucket or producer bucket. Save changes, and when only the .txt files and when put, post, copy or multi-part upload of an .txt happens, then we are triggering this Lambda function. Save changes, and that Lambda function, go to where it is, object lock, event notification, Lambda function. To save, go to Lambda, now S3 trigger is there. When .txt files comes, then only this lambda will get triggered. Trigger means this piece of code will get executed. And what this code contains, it logs these values. It reads the event and push the data into Kinesis and test Kinesis stream. Okay, I think we have already done it. We have created a Kinesis stream with this now, so let us leave it as is. Deploy. And also check Kinesis. Here, the name has to be same in the Lambda function. Okay, done. So records, iterate, range. Right now, nothing is going, but there is some orange thing over here. Get record 0% anyway. Test Kinesis stream. If we look here, it's applications, producers, consumers. Let us look into the configuration. One shard. Okay, I have not created a Firehose for this stream. Okay, delivery streams. Here we will check. And yeah, we have test delivery streams which uses test Kinesis stream and writes into this S3 bucket. Right now it's disabled. Okay, we will go and enable the stream. Okay, save. And now let us create one more lambda function. Create function. Create function. Let us call this function as Kinesis consumer function. It consumes data that is coming from Kinesis. Kinesis consumer. Permissions. We will use the same rule. It has CloudWatch, Kinesis, S3 full access. And this is the code. So what it does, it gets JSON, it passes data in JSON. What data? Record Kinesis data in base64 format. So it returns this data. Let us deploy. Now also add trigger over here. So when data is coming within the Kinesis, then it lambda function get triggers. And when data comes into the Kinesis, we have created one more lambda function. When the .txt uploads are there, then only the lambda function, producer lambda function will get triggered. And that trigger will put the logs into the Kinesis stream. And then we have also created a Kinesis Firehose, which writes these .txt logs into another S3 bucket. And also we are creating another Kinesis consumer function, which gets record values from Kinesis when data is there, when Kinesis is coming in the Kinesis. So let us add trigger. Select the trigger. You can add API gateway, IoT, Kafka, a lot of things, logs, all these are there. Our requirement is we have to use Kinesis. So now choose the Kinesis. Test Kinesis stream. This is what we are using. Batch size, let us keep it as is 100. Enable trigger. In order to read from Kinesis trigger, your execution role must have proper permissions. Yes, we have attached the role with full Kinesis access. So let us add. Test Kinesis stream creating. Enabled. So trigger is enabled. Now let's go and upload an object in S3 bucket. .txt files. We'll check for .txt files. Let us copy this. I don't know what is the why, because In Mac, by default, RTF extension is coming if I do it from the editor. So I'll edit some existing .txt, the file which has .txt extension. But why? Because we have filtered it as .txt in our S3. So if I edit any like text editor in the Mac, it's not providing .txt extension to the file. Instead, it's providing .rtf extension. So I'll copy this one. This is seems like some movie review kind of a thing. We use it for this machine learning, I think. So it's related to that text document. So what I'll do here, I'll say this is demo text or something like this and save. Test.txt. And I'll go here, creation date, upload. In the Kinesis producer bucket, I'm adding files. Test.txt. Okay. Upload. The test.txt has been uploaded in the S3 bucket. Now let's go and check in Kinesis producer, not Kinesis, Lambda. So what should happen when I upload any .txt, Lambda function should get triggered. And the Lambda function is producer for Kinesis. This one is the Lambda function. So what it has to do? It has to read these records, events, and has to write to this tree. That's what it has to do. So Kinesis put records. What it is doing, it's putting records, whatever has been collected here. S3 object params, the log details, when text document is logged, those log details, that params, details related to event has to put into Kinesis. So the Kinesis, here we are giving it as the test Kinesis string. Let's go monitor, view logs in CloudWatch. Yeah, so logs has been generated and the start request ID. After then, what happened? See, these are the event version, source, region, object created, put, principal ID, what is the key object key test.txt and size is some 35 kb, it's 35 kb, key tag, version ID, sequencer, and other things. And then what happened? Error message here. Invoke error y send to Kinesis is not defined. And then report. So it's reading events but unable to push it to Kinesis. Error message is sent to Kinesis not defined. Let us go and check. We'll try to fix this. So then what is happening? The object put reference error. We'll go to Lambda. Producer for Kinesis. Now we will see S3. Kinesis producer bucket. Upload. We'll upload the same file once again. Add files. Test.txt. Open. Upload. And now we will check in the Lambda function. Monitor. View logs in CloudWatch. Okay, log has been generated, new one. No older events at this, no newer events at this moment. This is the latest event, so let's go here. And let's look here. So event details, and then into Kinesis is not defined. So what is happening? It's getting the details from the S3, but unable to load this one, send to Kinesis. Just give me a minute. Okay, sorry. I have been like I didn't check that accidentally. I have been muted. And how long it has been no audio, right? So let me go back. What I have done is this producer for Kinesis here in this lambda function. Yeah, I have called the function send to Kinesis here, but this function which I have created and the function which I am calling here, these two names are not matching. There is a typo. I have used capital O here. Due to that, I'm getting this error. So I resolve this. Now this and this is the function which we are creating, which is async function, asynchronous function. And here we are calling this function. So now they are same. After resolving this issue, I have deleted the object test.txt and also uploaded the object test.txt. And now we will check how Lambda got triggered. Go to monitor, view and CloudWatch. We will come to know. So what it has to do, it has to fetch the details related to delete event as well as put event. I have deleted test.txt and also uploaded test.txt. And also it pushed it has to push these details into Kinesis. See, this has been generated, latest one. I'll go here, uh, latest, and then all the details of test.txt, of course, object created put, and then we'll go and check here. Here we are getting some error. Partition key in params is missing, some runtime errors. Let's go and check here. Unexpected parameter and AWS SDK listeners. Okay, I'll try to resolve this later. A lot of time is getting wasted here. Anyway, let's see. We got an error, and what is this error related to partition key? I'll check it later, and we will see whether Kinesis has been invoked or not. If everything works fine, if this function executes without any error, this event it has to push to Kinesis. So let us look into Kinesis. Yeah, get records is happening. Some get record happened. The latency, right? Get records means Firehose has to get records from here. So get records is happening. And then get records, iterate range, only reading. Let's go and see put record latency. So no put records. AWS has to put record. Read through. So Firehose is reading from this. So that is this one. Firehose has to read from the data stream. Get record success. So let us go to Firehose. Delivery stream. Go to test delivery stream. It has to put data in S3. details. Let's go to S3 and check. And the data from Kinesis 5 host. Yeah, no objects. Why? Because we have error at the lambda function. If there is no error at that phase, it will push data into Kinesis data stream. And also we have created one more lambda function. Kinesis consumer. Yeah, log group does not exist. No problem. What is the issue is there is no errors here, but we are getting some runtime errors. Yeah, here test Kinesis tree. Yeah, here we're getting some runtime errors. So here it's not showing any error, but we are getting some runtime errors. Let's say this response error type. So runtime exports handler. So, let us discuss this tomorrow. So I'll try to resolve these errors tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do the same thing. So what it has to do, whenever .txt files comes into the S3 bucket, lambda function, this lambda trigger, which has S3, when .txt comes, it has to push the event details into the Kinesis tree. Kinesis stream, so test Kinesis stream, and then after that, from there we have attached a Kinesis Firehost. Only .txt files and the log details related to the .txt files will be logged in another S3 bucket. Instead of S3 bucket, you can use applications, any third-party applications. You can also add HTTP endpoints, that means applications, or you can use Amazon Redshift, Elasticsearch, all these things you can add using Firehose. And we have also added one more Lambda function, which reads from the Kinesis stream, which reads the text file from the Kinesis stream. But at this point, we are getting some error. Yeah, I'll try to resolve this. Tomorrow we will run the same thing. I hope things related to Lambda Kinesis are clear now. Of course, we got error here. Yesterday also we have executed one a Lambda function. Right? Clear. Okay. And then we will talk about AWS Athena. Athena is query data in S3 using SQL. That means S3 is very popular, and there are so many uses for S3. And S3, we know it is an object like storage, object storage, and you can dump anything into the S3. Image files, audio files, structured data, unstructured data. Simply, you can put structured as well as unstructured. And this Amazon Athena is to analyze the data that is coming into the S3, to query S3 data. Usually, we run SQL queries with our databases. S3 is not a database. S3 is a oriented storage. So every data item is treated as an object. So they are not arranged in structured format like in databases. However, if structured data is coming to S3, like CSV, TSV, JSON, Paraquet, and ORC formats, if they are coming to S3, then Athena, using Athena query, you can locate those files. So select, identify those files, and you can convert them into table using this Athena. Run queries on your data. Amazon Athena supports ANSI query SQL languages. Suppose I have uploaded .csv file. What I can do, I can write into MySQL. That option is there, but we don't know this. If underlying schema is different, we cannot do that. We can also send to DynamoDB using Lambda trigger. We already talked about that, sending data from S3 to Lambda. But if there is any schema problem, underlying format problem, you may not do that. And it involves other services like Lambda triggers, or Kinesis Firehose delivery stream. So instead of that, you can use Amazon Athena and convert the data set. See these data sets. Convert these data sets into table. And you can query that table using ANSI SQL queries. So let us say get started. See AWS data log catalog, sample DB, everything is there. Okay, this is query editor where you can query S3 tables that are created, Athena tables created from S3. So this is the query editor. Let's go here. Let us put an S3 link here. Select. Yesterday we have used this S3 Lambda 2021 bucket, and we have some .csv format there, text, PDF, one .csv is there. So select this. So encrypt query results. Let us keep these two things as is. Save. Go to settings. Saying the same thing. Data source AWS REST sample DB, ELB logs. So you can request timestamp, name, all these things. Let us say from select everything one.csv. Let's go to S3. And S3 Lambda 2021 bucket is there. Here, actions, query with S3 select. The format is .csv. Five records of input running. Select everything from S3 object. One.csv. Instead of one.csv, I should give the object name. Object name is one.csv only. So let us go to Amazon S3. So we can find this AWS Athena in our CloudTrail. So if you go to CloudTrail logs, yes, anyway, these are logs. These are logs available in. Let's click on this. All these are log details available in .json. And object actions, storage class metadata. Let's go to CloudTrail. Okay, create a trail. Don't create a trail. Let us go to events first, event history. So all these are logs, right? So you can create a CloudTrail and send them to S3 bucket, or what you can do, you can create Athena table. So we are creating a Athena table. Choose a storage location. S3 bucket active trails to display. So let us create a CloudTrail. Create new S3 bucket. CloudWatch logs, IAM role, say Cloud Rail, new IAM role, policy document. Next, KMS. Just disable this. We are not using KMS, key management service as of now. Read, write everything. Next. So we have created a CloudTrail which logs events, events related to S3. Now I can convert these events and log them into Athena table. See, these events are coming management events one, and this is the bucket name. AWS CloudTrail logs. This one. Let's copy this. Okay, create trail. Not create trail. Go back to trail. So we have one trail. Go to CloudTrail, and then event history. Yeah. Now create Athena table. We choose this one. Now create table. Create Athena table successfully created. Go to S3 or Athena table. Run query. So mismatch input. So let's go to S3 and check the Athena table name. So simple. Now after converting it into the table format, you can query. So, but I think that the name of the table, you can create table here itself. Already this table is there. CloudTrail logs. So this is the table name. So let us copy the table name. This is not the table name. Run query. Right now it is. See, all these has been converted into tabular format, and I am getting this. So I can write query since I have selected everything from the table. I'm getting this. So I can also create Athena table using existing S3 buckets. But in the S3 bucket, I have mixed. I have PDF files. I have some other files. Otherwise, you can convert certain like CSV, JSON, these formats into tables, Athena tables, and you can write query. See, event source, event type, all these things, request ID. These are the things, the event version. So all these are the contents which are there in this table. Table name is CloudTrail logs AWS. So let's say create table. Here you can create a table from S3 bucket data. Say create a new database, my database table name. Let's call it as test table. And then location of input data set. At table. Okay, here I'm getting the same logs data. So I'm not able to. This is my input data set. I need to give the S3 bucket ARN here. So input path to data set want to process. So what we need to do? Go to S3. permissions, and objects. 1.csv is there. Let us make it public. Make public, and also close this. Go to 1.csv. Yeah, this is the URL, object URL, or I can copy this or this. Let us copy this. Here they have given a format. It has to be in this way. S3 region name, and then the bucket name, and then the object name. So this has to be the format. So let us copy and paste here. So S3. So anyway, both my this Athena and S3 is in the same region. So I'm not giving anything here. So let us keep it like this. So we are creating a new table, and we are converting this .csv file into table format. Table. So this is Lambda 2021. In that bucket, we are creating a table. So let us call it as Lambda 2021. Name of the new database, test database. Next. Not a valid S3 folder location. Anyway, let us copy this. .csv. Let us copy this. S3 input dataset logs, or say S3. This is S3 URI. Let us try with ARN. Next. Not valid S3 folder location. Why? The location is Mumbai only. Location is of this bucket is Mumbai. Let us try to give URL. S3 input data logs. So we have given in this format only. So object URL. Okay, now give it here. Bucket name, and then folder. So we don't have a folder. So let's go try this. If it's not working, then we'll do it tomorrow. And anyway, we have seen in CloudTrails, we have a direct option there. So there itself, you can convert into Athena from S3 to Athena. All the trails in your S3, you can convert into Athena. Let us create a folder. Create folder. Say test folder. Test folder, and copy this. and drag and drop to test folder. Or upload any .csv file in it. Add files. One.csv import template file.csv. Let us use this import template file.csv. Open. Upload. And now this is S3 URI. Let us try with this Athena. And why? Because the hierarchy has to be S3, bucket name, folder name, and then object name. So now let us try. Before that, refresh. Create new data set. My database as table. Paste. And we'll say next. S3 folder location. Why in this? So otherwise, I wonder why it's not coming. Otherwise, what you have to give, there is any .csv, JSON, or any other format which can be which is writable into tabular format. So you have to give the location of that data set. That's it. So Athena has to read from it. Sometimes these kind of errors are happening when you try to convert to Athena. But this is a procedure. So you have to name a database table name and give your S3 URL here, S3 object URL, not object URL, URI. So URL and URI different in your S3. Yeah, this is S3 URI, and this is S3 URL. So we have to give S3 URI. So since this is .csv file, it has to convert into table form. So like how it has converted CloudTrail logs, so in the same way it has to convert this thing, this .csv file. So after converting it to table, you can write queries in the Athena console. So that is Athena console. If you want to like it's a query console where you can query S3 data. So again in S3 what data? CSV data or JSON data, these kind of data. First you have to convert into table and then you can write queries like how we have written here. And we have converted all the logs into table, Athena table, and this is a table. So and this table has all these what we say columns. So each JSON value will be written into a table, right? So that JSON values contains event version, event time, all these things. So all these are columns there in Athena table. So columns are the data items in the Athena table. Okay, that's about Athena. And then we have an concept. AWS has released this data migration tools. So not released, they are already there. And see, if I want to migrate all my data into AWS, I have lots of services. Suppose I already have an existing server and it's running on. Just give me a minute. Yes. Suppose if we have on-premise server or on-premise database, let me go here, migration. AWS Migration Hub is not available in Mumbai. It's available in these regions. Let us go to Sydney. Yeah, you can discover the data discovery tools, assess, and if you want to make any changes um, after this assessment, you can make those changes and then migrate to AWS. And this migration hub helps you in that. So let us talk about migration, AWS migration. So migration readiness. So this is the steps involved if you want to migrate anything to AWS. Say so far, my organization has its servers, has its database, has its storage. It can be network attached storage or any storage. Everything is on premises. Now my organization has decided to move all these things to AWS. The server, the database, the storage. Three things, right? If you, of course, three things means there will be different schema within the database and different format in the storage, and the applications running on my server are used to my server environment. Now, if the application has to reside in a AWS EC2 instances and the database is going to reside on AWS and it has to follow the AWS database schema. Maybe the schema format is different on my prem, on my data center, and same thing with storage. So just now we have faced issue converting .csv file from S3 to Athena itself. So if it is AWS in-service data, JSON logs, so that those are event logs, we are able to easily convert into Athena. So these kind of issues will arise because your application, your data so far is in your data center, and maybe AWS might be using different schema, different schematics, and obviously if you want to migrate the entire thing, your servers, database, storage, everything to there, you might face some issues. And to resolve these issues and to help in the migration, of course, even though this migration hub is there, you might face some issues, but comparatively very less. You can fix it very easily in less time. So this AWS migration tools helps to assess your server database storage, whether they are ready for migration or not. Business case directional migration readiness assessment can be done here. Next, planning. If you are uploading, migrating all the data, so obviously planning is required, discovery and analysis, how migration planning, everything in the migration hub. So this is related to planning and your migration project. So now your application has some architecture, it has some framework. So now AWS suggests the framework. You can customize that framework. That is the design. Based on the design, tool selection, test planning, everything will happen. And then the actual process starts: migration, integration, validation, and after that, operate, optimize.
cost, application, but after successfully migrating. So this is the migration step. So before this step, you're assessing whether you can successfully upload or migrate uh, all these server applications, database, etc. If any conversions or changes that has to be done, in this step, you'll figure out it. And AWS Migration Hub helps you to do easily figure out those things. After applying the changes, you can have your design, that is your well architectured framework, migration patterns, and start the migrating process. And then post migration, you can apply this. You can analyze your costs, application, etc. Yes, and migration tools in AWS. See, this is on-prem data center. We have servers, database, NAS, network attached files, etc. So now if you want to move my server here, or if I want to move database here, or file system here to AWS. So in real-time scenarios, more complexity will be there. Let's say servers are there, databases are there, storage systems are there, array of storage, which is network attached storage. Within my organization, we have a storage, and people within the organization can connect to the storage and share that storage. That storage is shared between the computers within the office network. So such type of storage we call NAS, network attached storage. And the organization is maintaining its own database and service. Now they have decided to migrate everything to AWS. Now, these are the tools AWS is providing. AWS Migration Hub itself, which helps you in this assessment, planning, and your migration project, all these things. Migration Hub. And we have other services. Of course, Migration Hub has all these services. So, this AWS Server Migration Service, AWS Data Migration Service, Data Sync, all these are available in Migration Hub, are part of Migration Hub. Let us briefly discuss what these will do. The name itself, you can guess by looking at the name, AWS Server Migration Service. This is to migrate servers to EC2 instances. See, servers are there. You can, using this AWS Server Migration Service, you can launch them in EC2 instances. Database is there. It can be MySQL or Postgres or any other database. So now using AWS Database Migration Service, you can put it in RDS, Amazon Aurora, Redshift, these kind of things. And here, data migration service not only migrates your on-prem data, it is also applicable in AWS itself. Suppose I am using Postgres database. Now I want to convert this database or migrate this database, and this Postgres database I'm using in AWS itself. It's not on my on-prem database. I'm using this Postgres database here in AWS. Now I want to switch to Amazon Aurora or MySQL. Yes, using AWS Data Migration Service, you can do that. You can migrate to some other database. And also, while bringing your on-prem database using AWS Database Migration Service, you can put all this data, migrate to Amazon RDS or S3 bucket. Contents which are there in the server, if you want them to, some of them to be in the S3, yes, you can put data into S3, migrate data into S3 using AWS Data Sync. So AWS Data Sync allows migrate storage data to EFS and S3. See, simply we have three kinds of migration services or tools in AWS. First one is AWS server migration, which migrates your servers and converts them into EC2 instances. If you have an on-prem data center, then you can use the AWS database migration service, and AWS migration service will convert that schema. If there is schema mismatch, underlying schema mismatch is there, it will convert the schema and put into Amazon RDS, relational database service. So this is related to databases. And if your on-prem data center is having storage, NAS kind of storage or any other storage, it's maintaining storage and using AWS data sync, you can write all this data dump into S3 as well as EFS. And these server migration, database, AWS data sync use some existing services. Like if you say AWS data sync uses Snowmobile, Storage Gateway, or Snowcone, all these things. So we will talk about that tomorrow in detail. But AWS migration has these three things. One is for server migration, this one is for database migration, and this one for storage migration. So we will talk more details in tomorrow's class related to migration fields. Okay, see you tomorrow then.